Hi, it's Empress Rose. Welcome to our collective reading. We're going to start off with the Moonology deck. You guys want to do there they go. Okay. All right. Your hard work is paying off. This is the counterpart of what we got last week. This is new moon in Capricorn. So yeah, you've been working towards something and it will pay off. So again, it's new moon energy. We're setting intentions. We're moving in a direction. We don't necessarily know where it's going, but it could be inner work that you've done, some emotional inner work that you've done that's really starting to pay off for you. You might be feeling a little more balanced, a little more ready to handle what all the variety of things that life throws at you, both from internal resurrections of feelings and external. So your hard work is paying off. It could be something external, but I guess with the mergoat there, I just kind of feel there might be something a little more emotional. Adjustments are required third quarter moon. So there's just a shift, really. It's not, there's still more to go before, I don't know, a new beginning comes in. There's like a little more letting go, a little more work to be done. So your hard work is paying off. There is more to do. It might be a little different than what you're used to doing, than what you would expect, or you've been making a cake. It's a multi-tiered cake, and you've done the baking, you've put it together. And you frosted it, and then now you're going to do some decorating on it. So that's the next step on this cake, is some decoration. But the tools you use for that are completely different than any of the tools you used before. So there might just be a little bit more, like, I think we're getting validation for the work you have put into something. And just because you need to use a new tool now doesn't mean that the old tools got you this far. The new tool or the new way of approaching something is going to get you another part of the way. And interesting, nothing is yet set in stone. Mutable moon. Things are still shifting around. You may feel like decisions have been made, things have been decided, and this is here to tell you that is not the case at all. Nothing is yet set in stone. So keep working on something. If you feel like, they already, this job position has already been filled, this is saying like, well, keep working actually at it, because maybe it's not filled, or maybe it's filled, but just for now. So keep building your skills, keep going in a direction, because it's not as set in stone as it appears. So that's one thing about this card is, there's a lot of things up in the air. There's many, many things up in the air, like for all of eternity heading forward. So why are we being told something is not yet set in stone? It might be because we feel that something is a sure thing, is a done deal, but it's not. And maybe some adjustments are required. Oh, maybe this is something you think you have. You think you've acquired, you think you've gotten this, but not quite, and maybe not quite in this form. Something still needs to move. Yeah, nothing is yet set in stone. Something still needs to move and shift here. So what you have is a lot. It's good. Your hard work paying off, but there's still some sort of shift, and then the outcome is shifted. If you shift what you're doing, the outcome gets shifted as well. So we're acknowledging the work you've put into something, but also we're saying that there's this, you shift, the outcome shifts, and maybe in unexpected ways, but there's still room. There's still room for something to change here. So, and then I feel like I've got the oldies but goodies here, the Moonology deck and the Oracle Mystical Moments deck. These are what I started my channel with. Let's see here. From the bottom of this deck, I put it upside down for some reason, and this popped out because very similar to adjustments required. Nothing is yet set in stone. A long way home. A lot can happen between here and there. So a destination itself is uncertain. What we know is that we're going someplace. We're being moved. We're being moved through divine guidance, divine will. And we might have some companions. We might have, and where it goes and where it ends up is very different. Not very different. Maybe it is very different. Why did I say that? It's different than what we expected, but we're riding in a hot air balloon. So like, how could we even have expectations about where this is going? The wind can have expectations about where we're going, but we can't really have those expectations. There's some force outside of yourself that is sort of moving things. There is a companion here, but if you guys end up in the same exact spot, that's going to be pretty wild. So there's just this whole sense of things still being up in the air and the destination actually still feeling a little unknown. So abracadabra, there are like magic words, even perhaps even a mantra you can say to yourself, and maybe it's even please and thank you, but there's so much growth here, something you've committed to. Your hard work is paying off. You have committed to a thing and there's a lot of growth, and it's like you're learning how to speak about it. It's like developing a pitch for your new little business. You know, you've like grown it, you've developed it, and now you got to start telling people about it. And it's getting the right pitch almost, or getting the right way to talk about this that does like help people understand what you're doing and be intrigued and by your venture. So there's this way of talking about it that I think you have learned and you have acquired. Again, there's this very up in the air feeling here, but there's so much growth to something that you've been very committed to, and it's like finally something slides into place and bing. And I think it has to do with verbiage, with words. Maybe you come up with the right name for your business or your child, or you're able to speak something into existence. But that's not random. That's not something not into existence, but you're able to, yeah, in a way, like when you name your like business, in a way you are speaking it into existence. Yeah, all this hard work went into getting to that point, but here you are at that point, and that, say, Empress Rose doesn't happen until you can say, okay, now this is Empress Rose's channel. This is this. I'm naming this thing, and now we have a known entity. Now we have a known thing. So it's something like that. There's something very magical about some kind of words, and it's growth and something you're committed to. So here's a really interesting little card here. We have Eva. Probably has been one of my least favorite cards in this deck because it has to do with deception. I'm never quite sure if it's intentional deception or unintentional deception, right? Like, are we talking about someone who doesn't realize they're presenting as very different than they are? Are we talking about somebody who feels like there's a traitor, an eavesdropper? Like it's reminding me of somebody from the homeowners association. That's like not quite what they seem like. They're much more thorn in your side than you think. So it is really interesting. It's someone isn't what they seem. Eva. There's snakes in the garden. There's caution. Caution should be used in this situation. So yeah, we have this like growth. We have this, there could be a spy. There could be, I don't know. This sounds like such like espionage and I don't know. It's really interesting though, because somebody's not what they seem, and they may not be aware that they are not what they seem. They may be fully aware that they are exactly what they are and what they're presenting. They could be attempting to present something else. So sneaky behavior, somebody just being very different than what they're presenting. You know, like it's like the literature on this is like, oh, there's a snake in your garden. I'm like, well, where else do snakes live? Like under rocks, perhaps, but there's one in your garden, which should be expected. It means you made a lovely little garden and nature wants to enjoy it. You know, oh, interesting too, because there's another deck where the snake around the neck is the seer, and the snake is protecting. Oh, somebody's not saying something. The snake is protecting the verbiage. The snake is protecting the messages. They're making sure that nothing gets through that isn't worthy of the recipient, or they're very protective of the messages that are being expressed. So here, though, we just have this like choked off throat chakra. They're watching but not speaking. They're not saying anything. They're listening, they're there. But they might not be able to say something. There might be a situation in which they're just not able to give you more information. And with nothing set in stone, it's reminding me of somebody. You're like, so how's the application process going? And they're like, well, I really can't tell you any more about it. They like literally can't talk about it. Like not literally, but maybe legally or something like that. And there's something here you don't know, and it's something that you would want to be cautious about. Yeah, the Eva card, if nothing else, it just brings in a little bit of caution is warranted with who you're associating with and who you're talking to. Not everybody, but it's so hard because I don't want you to be paranoid and isolate yourself and whatever, but there is somebody that you should probably be a little careful of. And hopefully you already know, you're already aware that this is somebody that should spark a little caution when they're around. I do believe it is a person. I think this is one of our only named cards in that whole deck. So it's very specifically a person and not just a whole situation which you don't know something. All right, from the bottom of the deck, and I'm using the Good Tarot, which always sparks my interest when that one calls to me, because it rarely calls to me. I have some issues with the deck, but it was very strong today. So from the bottom of the deck, we have Six of Water. So Six of Water is typically a nostalgia card, but this nostalgia looks like it's making her sick. That's what it looks like today. I mean, it's very interesting how these cards, you can use them for years and years and years, and then one day some detail pops out, or it looks totally different. That's your intuition there. That's telling you a different message than what you would normally get. So Six of Water, we normally are seeing like reunion with the past, with childhood friends, with siblings we haven't seen for a while. But this Six of Water, she's kind of sick with longing, sick with memory. Oh my gosh, she's seeing her reflection. This is fascinating. And there are these little balls. There's 6 little balls here. Are they memories? They're memories. And there's a triggering, like a mirroring of you're seeing something perhaps in yourself, in your old self. Maybe you returned somewhere. That's what it feels like. You may have returned somewhere. And you're getting a glimpse of part of yourself. There's a lot of growth here, though. That's what I want to say. This hard work is paying off. There is a lot of growth. We have this pond, this mirroring, this triggering, this reflection back to you of some part of yourself. And there's these lotus flowers in it. So yeah, there's some icky stuff back there. But you have grown. But it's like it's hitting you in the self-confidence. Like I see solar plexus chakra going on here as well. What an interesting card. And these balls all around you, these little white or reflective balls. And it's almost like There are storm clouds in the background, and it's like something's clearing up for you. Yeah, that's the muddy waters left to still, and something's clearing up for you, but there's an aftermath to the storm that feels a little unpleasant. But you are being reassured that yes, you've done a lot of work. There's still some other ways to approach something. Past, present, inner landscape. What's the issue? Environment, to-do list, possible outcome. All right. Most of these are reversed, which has me thinking that I'm holding my deck upside down, which I am. So, which is always when we enter this space, when we begin this process, everything's a bit of a message. So you have to be able to turn that off, because otherwise you go through life and you go insane. Like that movie about the mathematician, the Pi. Not the Life of Pi, but something else. Anyway, he goes nuts with the numbers, all trying to talk to him and tell him stuff. So we do have to like shut this off and shut this down. But there is a sense of everything, like seeing something the wrong way. And, you know, also in her reflection right here, we're seeing her upside down. So there might be a perception of clarity, but something was like, this was upside down. This was not the right way. And it was me. I was holding it. It wasn't that the cards were doing anything. It wasn't the universe was doing anything. It was sort of unintentional. It was an unintentional action. So I'm seeing that as well here. So in the recent past, we have High Priestess. We have somebody that intuitive. Oh, this thing, this is the Seer card. It's similar to the Seer card from another deck. So we have this intuitive person in the past, perhaps a high priestess, or just knowing, but there's also a lot of not knowing here. There's a deep connection to intuition, which again, like that can kind of drive us a little nuts. So if we're not able to turn it off and just live for a while and just not turn off the intuition, but, you know, turn off the signs and how they're interacting and all of that, and ascribing meaning to everything. There's a time and a place for that. So this High Priestess, yeah, very intuitive. Maybe something was foretold. Maybe you knew something was going to happen. You kind of had a premonition. Yeah, a premonition. There may have been a premonition about something. You may have been told something as well. In your current situation, you have 8 of Earth. So 8 of Earth is about work. It's basically just about work. What do you do for a living? And it's bringing some creativity to that. You could be getting some assistance with some sort of work situation. It could be about your work. So what we have here is this intuition about work. It could be intuitive work as well. But it's intuition about a work situation. Kind of looks like there's a lot going on here. Like, I want to say like twice as much as what should be going on is kind of going on. Maybe you're understaffed where you work. Maybe you're extra busy. Maybe you have just a lot on your plate. There's a lot of growth that can happen through the work that we do in this world, whether it's paid or unpaid. 8 of Earth usually has to do with paid work, but in this one I'm seeing sort of a trickster energy with it, more playful energy with this work, spiritual work, intuitive work, and it's creating a lot of growth. There's a lot of harmony within yourself with this work. It feels really good within you. And then it also helps, it also grows things. It could feel like, yeah, we have a money on trees. Or decorative, you could be in very decorative work. And it's just beginning, like the growth is just beginning. It's like the structure is all there. So it's like spring. This, spring when the leaves come back in, the structure is all there. The whole tree is there. We're just seeing a new phase or new cycle, a new growth on something that's been established for a while. In your inner landscape, we have Ace of Fire. So, inspired idea, just at the beginning though, is just an idea. It's very inspired. And this is your hopes, your fears, and your inner landscape. So maybe you've had an idea and you hope like it's a good one. Or maybe you're just really wanting a good idea. Or maybe you're so busy you don't want another good idea. I cannot handle one more good idea coming in here at all. I'm just going to take stock here of what we have. We have water, water, fire, 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 earth, and air. We have all of the elements are present, which is going to tell me that you have what you need here. This isn't too heavily on any part of your chart, and that this could be about any part of your life. It could be about work. It could be about a relationship. That's maybe you have relationship skills, and those aren't going anywhere. You have them, and there's new growth because of that. On that, maybe this has to do with your spirituality and spiritual work that you're working on. So this Eight of Earth could be any kind of realm of life. And what's curious is the Six of Water, this sort of regret idea in the storm clearing and feeling depleted or feeling less confident in how you're seeing yourself. You're seeing yourself and you're not feeling more confident about it, although there are all these sort of seeds or eggs around you of growth and possibility there. So Ace of Fire, we have this like, I might have a good idea here, or you either have a good idea or you're really longing for a good idea. You want to feel inspired about something. Maybe this work, maybe you're seeing a lot of work in front of you and it's not very inspiring. And this High Priestess could be someone that has come in with information or instructions or guidance for you. And it may look like just a lot of work. And like, I'm not sure I want to do all that work. This Ace of Fire, I kind of feel some hesitancy or a desire to feel passionate about a project that maybe you were passionate about it before. And there are new ideas. Maybe you saw a consultant or something. There's new ideas sprouting here, but we're not quite sure we want to put the work in. We're not quite sure this is really for us. I think there's a lot of doubts around a good idea. I mean, we can have good ideas, but they take time, they take energy, they take resources to put into a good idea and grow it into an actual viable seed. So it takes a lot of work to do that stuff. And if you already have a lot on your plate, you're not going to want to do that. But there could also be like some sort of structure in here and you're just not feeling very inspired right now. So you would like to feel inspired. Queen of Fire reverse. This is almost the opposite of the High Priestess here. Because Queen of Fire is a little bit just sort of High Priestess vibes on sort of low instead of high. So it's high, it's not High Priestess, it's Mid Priestess. It's a Midi Priestess instead of Maxi Priestess. I think there's one that's probably like Mini Priestess too here, but Queen of Fire, this is actually sitting right underneath Eva, right here. So, yeah, again, like, ooh, somebody might be a little self-absorbed, and it might just be a moment for them. It might not be a whole lifestyle, but they might be a little self-absorbed. Someone who's feeling uninspired, lacking creativity, feeling a lack of creativity. Looking like they're creative, but not feeling very creative, or in a creative field, but not really feeling those creative vibes at all. Their light's gone out. There could be some depression here, and someone's keeping it very much to themselves, how they are feeling depressed. They're not talking about it. They're not telling anybody. They're not, I mean, but that isn't that the way with depression? There's a lot of shame around it. Shame is an interesting thing. Someone's feeling shame about something. Maybe someone's light has gone out. Their fire has gone out. Their passion for something has gone out. The magic doesn't feel like it's here. It's almost like a sense of the clock struck midnight and their carriage is now a pumpkin. There could be a disillusionment happening here of like things that were exciting and inspiring, just now seeing them for what they, seeing them in a different light. I don't want to say seeing them for what they are, but seeing them in a different light. Like, you know, you buy a painting and it's so beautiful and lovely, or you buy a poster and it's so beautiful and it's so lovely and it's so gorgeous. And then one day you go to work and some things happen and you come home and you're like, whatever. Why did I ever think that was beautiful? What was I thinking? That's just a dumb picture. It's pixelated. It didn't even turn out well. Like, why was I so enthusiastic about this? It's just another picture. And it's always sad when that happens with a person, when you're very enthusiastic about a person, like, this person's so great, and then something happens and you're like, yeah, that's just a person personing. Yeah, all right, yeah, okay. You know, and it's fine, and they're allowed to be a person and not be on a pedestal and not be super exciting. So, but it's like some sort of fire went out. You would like it to be reignited. You'd like to ignite something, be reignited, maybe passion for work or something like that. But this person could be very intuitive, and they're not right now. They're not in an intuitive space. They're usually very intuitive, but they're not. I'm really getting a sense of, this is a contained environment. This is a situation, not like a forever person who's never intuitive or never is like that. But this could be someone who's very outside their intuition or not able to connect with their intuition. There could be some depression here. And this Eva, this person that isn't what they seem, they could seem fine. They could seem great, like they're blossoming and blooming and growing. But it seems to be masking some kind of, either they're not very, they're saying they're intuitive and they're not, or they're masking something kind of rotten inside. Or not rotten, just inside, right? They're sick, and they're pretending not to be. Like in the solar plexus, this inspiration, this fire, place of our inner fire here, and it's like feeling more like indigestion right now than inner fire. So we have 4 of water, 4 of fire, 4 of water. That would be indecision and not clear on what's being offered. But this 4 of fire, this is a sacred place. You know, I'm just going to take this one intuitively. This is a sacred place. The light is outside you and is shining on you. Again, there's music happening here, which is really fascinating. There are 2 musical instruments. There is music happening. There's a party. Something has transformed and grown and graduated. There's a leveling up, an improvement. A situation has improved. A place, I want to say, has improved. A place has been imbued with more spirituality, and it's like a portal. Yes, this place has a doorway in it. This place has a portal to walk through, to go through. It's a place of transformation and change. It is a physical place. It is I'm getting such concrete, clear physical vibes off of this 4 of fire. It's a place, and it's you pass through the place, and you're changed. It's a place of transformation. It's a very physical place of transformation. and improvement. It's a place perhaps for self-improvement. And your to-do list is Seven of Air. Seven of Air, again, we have a masking here. Masking intentions. Like if you are the one that is depressed, this is saying continue sort of masking it. I'm not sure that that's great advice. But Seven of Air is when in Rome, it's that when in Rome vibe, like do as Romans do. It's, you know, she's pretending to be a bird. Here I am around all of these birds. Let me pretend to be a bird. So maybe you're masking something and you're being somebody you're not, and you're being asked in a certain place to be somebody you're not. It's very interesting reading, really, because I'm not quite sure. Seven of Air is sort of sneaky, innovative. If you want to hear what these other people are saying and understanding, try to be like them, or try to be a little sneakier with your approach in something, or don't be so direct. No, not butting heads, but cleverness. Cleverness rules the day today. So we're not being really forceful, really direct, argumentative. That's not your call right now. That's not the call right now. You are listening. You are understanding. You are hearing. I think almost, I want to say like almost listening to gossip, but you're listening to other people's. And that also seems a little dodgy. I mean, Seven of Air in your instruction manual or in your to-do list seems really strange to me. But it is being clever, being more clever than forceful, being more trying to fly under the radar, not calling attention to yourself, winning, getting what you need, getting what you want out of a situation, without calling attention to the fact that you're getting what you want out of a situation. Yeah, being non-confrontational. It's very non-confrontational vibes with the Seven of Fire. You don't want to scare everybody off. You don't want to... What you're wanting is for people to come to you, to listen to you, to hear from you. So what you're not going to do is yell at them. So that's a little bit of, if you want people to hear what you're saying, you have to speak in their language. That's what I'm hearing here. That's what I'm seeing here. So then we have Queen of Water. It seems like this could be very taxing for you. So you are going to want to go process your emotions after this. And maybe journal, feel, really feel. This could also be someone who's very emotional, and perhaps your method here of speaking in the language that they can understand, perhaps that method does really open up some emotions for somebody else as well. So you may be very depleted. I think anytime you step into somebody else's world and play by their rules, or do things in that way, in a way that might feel a little less authentic for us. So in a way, I'm seeing you as Eva, because here your instruction is to wear the mask. And this might be you at feeling choked off, feeling unable to speak your truth, unable to say what you need to say. The result is that you're going to have to do some emotional clearing and processing later. You might be in a situation where you're not going to be able to be as authentic as you normally would. This is saying that that is okay. Accept that situation. Work with the situation you have, not the situation you wanted. Work with the reality that you have here. It's being an olive branch. It's being a peacemaker. It's choosing a difficult peace over a war. There are some silly gooses around. There are some very silly people around right now. And you do not startle them, do not frighten them. Try to speak their language. There is a sense of being a peacemaker and conflict resolution through alternative means here. Yeah, but make sure you take care of yourself afterwards and process and deal with your emotions. It's going to have there's going to be a lot of emotions inside of you, and that's all going to have to be tabled for the sake of the situation here, and then we're going to go deal with them later. We're going to go process later. So this could be this Queen of Fire of feeling very stifled, not feeling like you can be who you are. And the instructions are a little bit, at least a little bit. I mean, I'm definitely a believer in the benefits of authenticity and being who you are, but not everybody needs to see that person or needs to know who that is. It could just, especially when we have silly gooses around, that could make a lot of noise and be quite alarmed. So we're still, it doesn't feel good. I'm not saying it feels good, or is it even like, it's not a good policy. It's like some sort of situation has you needing to blend in a little bit more than you normally would like. Okay, I can't take all 10 of those, so we're going to keep going. We're going to do the animal oracle, their spirit animal oracle. Okay, 3. That seems like we can handle that. Panther spirit, reclaim your power. That's what I'm seeing you doing after a situation. There is a reclaim your power. And I think doing this from an empowered place, like a choice that you are making. If it reminds me of Jane Goodall sitting in the hen house as a child and, you know, just crouch there watching the hen lay an egg and just being more an observer, but making a choice to do that, making a choice to listen, making a choice to observe. This can be a very empowering choice when you realize you have options and that's the one you are choosing. Very important. So reclaiming your power. White raven spirit, trust in the magic. This would make a really good mantra this week. Trust in the magic. It seems like related to this card. Trust in the magic of this situation, of speaking their language. And we have 44 and 66, which seems pretty rad to me. 16, 34, 35. Okay. And then 8, bobcat spirit, life is a mystery. And trust in the magic and the mystery. I love that. Life is a mystery. So we're not really... right, and I think that really helps me as the reader to be like, what is this card? It's not saying be authentic because it's not the right move right now in this situation. Is not being, it's like going back to see your family and like not telling them straight up all the stuff you do, all the woo-woo stuff you do. Like speak a little bit in their language, you know? So yeah, but there's a sense of empowerment here, and then maybe reclaiming your power afterwards and really connecting with yourself and aligning with who you are. That's right. I had to do that. I did that for this situation in order to keep the peace. Now I'm going to go feel myself here. But life is a mystery. So that helps me because like this reading, I'm not 100% like as a policy, 7 of air isn't great, but in certain situations, it definitely needs to be a tool in your toolbox, for sure. Not everyone in the situation's a silly goose, but you're going to have to account for the silly gooses here that are going to squawk and yell if you take your mask off, or you know, if you're more direct, you're going to create problems. All right. And from the Wild Kuan Yin, we have 2 cards. Now is the time. All right. Now is the time to be open to what will be. Embrace your destiny, beloved. It's calling you forward even while it's hurtling towards you. Your time is now. It's giving reclaim your power vibes. Your time is now. And also it just feels like all these last 3 cards, it's trusting the magic, life is a mystery, your destiny is opening up right now. And the loving push, great. Sacred grandmother will nudge you when you need to take a step, comfort you when you become uncertain, and provide the means for you to move towards your destination, which is, of course, your divine destiny. When you feel the divine pushing you, leap. This also reminds me of like sometimes in these readings or in other readings that I do and whatever, I kind of forget stuff, and then all of a sudden I'll be in a situation and a card will just like, I'll see it and I'll be like, oh, this is for what this situation is for. So that's part of what this feels like, because like I said, with the Queen of Air, it just feels very situational and like very much right now in this situation. So that if you don't know what that is, you will, and just trust that you'll know exactly. Whatever's important in this reading for you will pop out, will be ready for you, will be there for you when you need it. So also, I think that getting some nudges and getting some advice and getting some oh, it's fake it till you make it a little bit. Like maybe you don't feel like you're up to something or you can do something. This is a little bit like, it's okay to, pretend to be a high-powered businesswoman for a couple of weeks while you do something else, or pretend to be a like anyway, pretend to be what else? It's like allow some imposter syndrome. Okay, this isn't. Yes, it's like allow the imposter syndrome, and in fact, like you may feel like an imposter here. You may feel like you don't belong somewhere, but just kind of work with that. Kind of, okay, so what? Keep doing it. Keep going. Keep feeling that way. So anyway, this nudge, it'll come. You'll know it when you see it. All right. I hope all is well with everybody here. Thank you so much for joining me on these readings. Thank you so much for your comments, for watching to the end. That's really cool for the algorithms, and your comments are also really great for the algorithms, and of course liking and subscribing, which I'm always so shy to mention, but probably should. I'm here on YouTube. I will do as YouTube does. Please like and subscribe. All right. See you guys next time. Bye.